considering where I was. So we gotta go to the pool. Where's the pool? Okay. Oh wait. Actually, where's the pool? It's somewhere. It's one of the first areas. Is it over here? Okay, cool. We're gonna talk to Kyoko. Hopefully, this is fixed.
I've.
Oh, I didn't want to. Oh, yeah. Anyways. Boy, if you haven't fixed yourself right now, hey! Hopefully the problem's fixed. Like, I was trying to look into it, which is why I took a bit coming back, because I was like, okay, let me make sure I got everything fixed, and it should be okay now. Yeah,
indeed.
No. It's because I already went through it, and I was just playing through it again.
Wow.
Gotta go fast, you know? Oh, hey, Jess.
So then. Goodbye.
Hello, Misty. That's actually kind of cute, like Misty, but Misty. Gotta go faster. Bam. Moving the speed of sound. Chihiro is fucking dead. No time for realization. I still don't understand how he thought that rope was a plug. Like the difference between a wire and a rope, very apparent. Like, I don't understand. Okay, so she died, but she didn't die by like scissors or whatever. Like, as far as we know, because there's no scissors around. So it's like, wagwan here. The true nature. Okay, it's not a rope. It's a wire. It's a plug thing. You don't just stop calling it that. God, there's a certain place you need to visit. Exactly, right? Like, I honestly don't understand how, like, you can't tell the difference. I've never seen a wire designed to look like a rope. There's a distinct difference. Oh, thank you, Anime Nightcore. I need to give you a name, but Nightcore, thank you! Nobody will know what Dun did the murder. Nobody will ever know. Like, dude has a real complex about being weak. You need to get stronger. Didn't we talk about this? Okay. So, anyways, yeah, I'm going. What do you need to look at now? Do you want to look at the rope? I don't know what else you want to look at. You want to go out here? Okay, you don't want to go there. Then where the fuck do you want to go? Shite. Wait, what is that? What, this? No, that's the word thing. Are we looking at this again? Is this one of the... Oh my god. This game is driving me crazy where it's like, okay, we need to talk about this one thing, and you'll go to this first thing. Like, you click on Chihiro because that's what the game wants you to do, right? And then it's all like, oh, okay, cool, we're gonna talk about this a bit, and then we're gonna back you out, but we're not gonna say what you're gonna do next. And it's like, okay, so then what do you want me to do? And then you go back to what you were originally doing, but also, why'd you back me out in the first place? Gosh! Can't believe it. No shit, somebody struck her in the head. Wait, are we doing the same thing again? What place do you want me to revisit? Do you want me to look at this? I don't know what you want me to look at. What, do you want me to look at the Monokuma file? No sé qué tú haces, mira. Fucking piss me off here now. Fuck. Shit, what do I have to look at? Where are the truth bullets? Fuck. Not letting me leave or nothing. Okay, so she was 2 a.m. She was killed instantly. Okay. So, what else do you want from me? Well, I wouldn't want to bleed pink. I'd want to bleed like a cool color. Like blue. Blue's a cool color. Technically, our blood is blue until it leaves our body. Isn't that the shit? We're like avatars. Okay, but where do you want me to go? Now I can leave. Oh my god. Oh my god. At the same dialogue. I don't believe you. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What do you want me to do? You want me to go into the boys' room? I don't understand. This game pisses me off sometimes. What is this? What is this? This is a shitty boy band. Yes, focus on Jerry. His music's so great. I think he's streaming like finishing up Lucis. Not too right or whatever. And it sounds so good. Go watch his stream instead of mine. I'm just gonna be yelling at this game, honestly. But he's gonna be like creating stuff, so yeah. Yeah, that one was here, so yeah. So why was the switch? I don't know. Is there anything else you want to look at? Wait, what? Oh, were the maps changed? It's 4 a.m. for you. Damn, go to bed. Says me, but also I was up at 4 a.m. last night. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so if we're gonna talk to somebody, what, keep reading? Maybe go into the girls' room, talk to Sakura? Sakura would know, I guess. I don't know who would know.
Of course.
Right? Who took a giant shit on the map? We'll never know. I've used it nearly every day since it opened up. Sometimes Hina and I use it together. Okay then, let me ask you something. Do you think the posters in the boys' and girls' rooms could have been switched?
I'm sorry.
So what, they actually killed Chihiro in the girls' room, or the boys' room, but they put her in the girls' room? Isn't it? I thought you were part of the last stream, Nightcore. Huh. I feel like you were part of it, like, really briefly, I don't know. But hey, if not, welcome to the stream. And it was totally Toko Kid. It's just,
However,
I don't know, I feel like it's really complicated. I like to drink a little protein coffee. Protein coffee? That doesn't sound right. Like, I don't even think that sounds tasty. Like, what the hell? I've never heard of protein coffee. No! No spoilers, sweet! No spoilers! Stop it! No! I spilled some in the girls' locker room and it left a stain. Okay, so the mats were switched. Okay, but why? I don't need to Raven Simone it up that way, Cosmic. Thank you very much. Lol.
Of course.
Okay, cool. So it's obvious what happened. It is so obvious what happened. Oh my god, don't act like y'all don't know what happened. You all dumb characters. Okay, do we need to do anything else here? Can I leave? You know what? Okay, so I've seen, like, I watched Jerry, my boyfriend, play Danganronpa 2, right? And like sometimes it'll be super obvious who it is, but other times you either won't have a clue or you might have a vague idea, but turns out no, it wasn't that person. But whenever I was doing trials with him, I usually knew who the person was until like the very end. And that's what I'm kind of thinking too, which he can technically get away with. We have to find. No, I don't want that. I want to find Celeste. What's this? The archive? What? I have to go. Oh yeah, he wanted to go back there. So while I'm on this floor, I'll go to the library and check out that archive. And Byakuya can be annoying again. I don't want to deal with his annoying ass. Okay. So, ow. No, Mondo's nice. No spoilers, sweet. Even if you're right or wrong or whatever, none of that. Oh yeah, exactly. Well, that's why he took charge, right? Like, if he took charge, then it's easy for him to manipulate facts. Wait, somebody took the Genocide Jack person? Or the file? Like, okay. Cool. Well, where's Byakuya? Where's everybody? Everybody's suspicious right now. What else do you want to check? Guess. Hold on, do we want to look at this? Oh no, I was wondering if we could look at the wires. But I guess not. The lamp won't turn on. It's not plugged in. It's not long enough. The last time I saw it, it was definitely on. Yeah, there's an extension cord. Where's that extension cord, I wonder? Golly. Whew. Okay, can I leave? Okay. Okay. So, yeah, let's go find. So we need to find Byakuya and we need to find Celeste. And you have a simple solution? Go. Okay, what is this? Okay, so we need to go here. Call Batman. That's fair. You know that Batman, you know that dad who in like some videos where he'll dress up as Batman? We need that Batman in particular. Where the fuck am I? Hi Celeste, where are you here? Stop eating all the food.
This warehouse is amazing. It has absolutely everything one might need to live a full life.
Does it? I don't know. Is there internet? From food to clothes to towels, there's an endless supply to choose from. Okay, but is there any internet? Lol.
Most unfortunate.
You were gonna ask me that. I thought talking about the warehouse itself might misdirect you, but I see it was pointless. Lol. Look at the Batman. Bat Dad. I will tell you and only you.
Actually.
Hi, Jamel. Welcome to the stream. Last night I saw her. Chihiro was here. Really?
Indeed.
This was right before nighttime.
What are you doing out this late?
Oh, I was just...
Are you planning to go exercise, perhaps?
What? How did you know?
Because I can see a blue track jacket sticking out of that duffel bag you're carrying.
Okay, cool. Get out of her business, Celeste.
Oh, you're right. Thanks.
What are you saying thank you for?
Well, I'd been in a hurry.
Trying to hide it. She was gone.
Yes, indeed.
She was merely stalking up to go exercise in the morning, but it would appear she ignored the nighttime rule and headed directly to the girls' locker room. If she hadn't broken our rule, none of this would ever have happened. You get what you deserve. Oh, okay, Celeste. She went to the girls' locker room late at night in order to exercise without anyone knowing. But the strange thing is, there was no trace of the track jacket or duffel bag Celeste said when Chihiro was carrying. I mean, the killer would have gotten rid of it somehow. So let's account. So how did they get rid of it? Well, mind your own blood.
Actually,
It has blood.
In-
No, we're not doing this again.
Oh,
Please,
go.
I did not mean for this to happen.
yes.
Oh, stop. Okay, I'm done. Can I leave? Thank you. Okay, well, the only thing left to do is find Byakuya. I don't know where he is. Where... I got a Sonic. I have no choice. Okay, so you're there. And we don't know where Byakuya is. Okay. Well, okay, the dining hall is important right now? Why is it important? What'd I do? Well, what Hina want? Hina! My waifu! Where you at? Bitch, where you at? He did! He just failed! He took everything with him. He took the baby. Can't believe it. You left her? My head was all swimmy, and I was getting pretty hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, but don't worry, I'm gonna head back as soon as I'm done eating. Toko's not exactly pleasant, but I still worry about her. Speaking of which, what are you eating?
Huh?
A donut, of course. I'm glad you love donuts. You look like you would love donuts. Of course. There's two things I'm sure God created. Outer space and donuts. Okay. Really?
I bet Chihiro would have liked to eat more donuts. Maybe that was her one big regret.
Honey.
Aww.
I should have tried to spend more time with her. I should have stuffed her full of donuts. Oh, who did she spend time with?
Well,
She was a little bit strange. Didn't really hang out with the other girls much. It was like she was trying to keep her distance from us. Actually, Sakura said something similar. She said that even though you and her invited Chihiro to exercise with you, she always refused.
yeah, totally.
Yep, it's true. And it wasn't just us either. It was like she stayed away from all the girls. Was she just shy? I don't know. She talked to the boys all the time. Isn't it kind of weird to be shy around your own sex, but totally fine with the opposite sex?
Ah!
Oh wait, maybe she was used to guys spoiling her. The law says you can't judge a book by its cover, right? I think so. I never really saw her as that kind of girl.
Well, you know what? She says that, but also, like, personally, I'm more comfortable with guys, but that's because I grew up, with a lot of, like, I grew up with male best friends as opposed to female best friends, so I'm more comfortable with guys than I am with girls, strangely enough. So it's like, I can kind of relate to Chihiro in that sense. Death by overeating donuts? Gosh. Like, what do you die from first? Like, having, like, bloating from too many donuts? Or do you die from diabetes first? Like, what would happen first? Oh, okay. It's time for the trial.
I'm getting tired of waiting. Shall we just plunge right in?
Lord.
It's the moment you've all been waiting for! The class trial!
Okay, cool, but where's Byakuya? He never paid me!
You remember where to meet, right?
Yeah, okay. Byakuya, bitch better have my money.
Please go through the red
Fuck.
door on the first... See you soon!
Outer space was in a black hole first. It's too much for anyone to handle. The true way to beat death. Just fucking eat too many donuts. Alright, Yaku apparently, since he won't give me money. Alright, well, let's do this. Trial time. Oh god, there's people.
So is everyone ready to... What? Am I blind or are we missing someone?
Yo.
Where's Toko?
You really don't remember? You're making all these kids kill each other and you don't even know their names? Cruel! Savage!
Come on!
Kidding, I'm just kidding. How could I forget that little nut job?
Says the nut job. She's a crucial part of the class trial this time. Okay, cool. Well, you know what? Then bring her over here. Like, where is she? And it's okay, Jess. I know it's so hard to spell. Hard. They die so fast. They're like flies. They just keep dropping.
What are you gonna do?
Drag her out kicking and screaming. Oh, she might actually be kicking and screaming. She's actually kicking and screaming.
I told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe he would drag a girl around. Terrible! You're terrible!
Phew!
So everyone's here, right? Okay then, hustle into the elevator and let's get this freaking show on the road!
Well, Saika deserved it though. She was such a hoe. Like, damn. You should have seen me when I first met her. I did not like her. She was the fakest bitch to me. And then she died and I was so happy. I was like, yes, bitch, go. Don't support your hoe behavior.
Let's go.
Oh, wait, hey! You owe me money! Shall we get going? It's time to find out. Yeah, it's time to find out when you gonna pay me. Dang. She was so gentle, so calm, and nobody had any problems with her. You don't even know her. Did you talk to her? To kill a girl like that? I know. It's fucked. And that murder is one of us. Someone standing right here. Look at Toko and Yakuya both looking to the side towards each other. Like, what is that? What is that? Yakuya better get the money.
Hey, come on.
Hey, Jerry Boo. Okay, cool. So, you have. They are dealing with themselves. Like, there's so much drama going on right now. Like, these two are just being... Yakuya does deserve to die. If he doesn't die here, then I will kill him personally. That would be cool for a Danganronpa game where you can actually choose to kill somebody. Like, that would be great. I don't really want to talk to you guys. I want to go. Hey, welcome!
It's true.
Yes. I gave a small nod in reply. With one last deep breath, I walked toward the elevator on shaky legs. I got them chicken legs, you know? With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and fast. As soon as everyone was on, the elevator began to descend. I couldn't get a handle on my emotions. Couldn't stop speculating. Where is the bae? I miss her. After this trial, I need to stress cuddle with the bae. Where's out? Bae boo. Bae boo, come here. Steel box. The steel box. You mean the elevator. The elevator. Like, damn. Do you even know your vocabulary? Do you know how to function, Makoto? Gosh. The elevator was unaffected. Now you know the name. Continue to descend to finally, oh boy, came to a stop.
What did you think? I redecorated. Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it so exciting? Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Hey, is the question of when am I gonna get my money a stupid question? Because I think it's really important, and I think it's something we should address right now before the trial begins. Because I want my money.
Very nice.
Who would go to this high school? I don't know. Kids who are literally tricked. Like, these kids were tricked into going to this high school. They're like, oh, if you go to this high school, it's basically Harvard. It's like if Harvard was actually a killing school. Like a secret killing school.
Well,
Fuck up.
thrills, chills, kills!
That's a good line. And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly... For fuck's sake. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith. A deadly class trial. Okay, that is the worst poem I've ever heard. Never perform that ever again. I don't want to see that. Gosh. Worse. Sit skills, I guess. What skills do I even have? Okay, vocabulary. Well, what does this do? Increases bullet capacity. Effective. Increases damage. Okay, cool. Well, whatever. I'm done. Alright, it's time.
Let's
Cool.
begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes
was
will
everybody?
determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
Right, Jess? I can't believe this. He doesn't know how to identify anything. He needs help.
Okay, then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
What kind of delivery is that? The murder weapon! Okay, so what did it? Well, what did it? What did the blow? Lol.
Chihiro's fatal injury.
Uh-huh.
It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
Yeah, I know what it is.
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Lol.
Interesting.
The crime.
That certainly would make for a powerful weapon.
But where did
Or
what iron
Chihiro.
pipe? Where did it come from? Did you all see an iron pipe?
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
That's correct.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
What it was. Oh, what? Oh God, I forgot my.
Bet it was an iron
My
pipe.
things. Damn it. I know,
Interesting.
okay. How do I?
That certainly would make for a powerful weapon.
Fuck up.
Poor Chihiro.
Okay, let's do this again. God, I don't know my weapon. What is?
Chihiro's
Hold on.
fatal injury.
Oh no, that's not what I want to show. Hold up. How do I fast forward?
It appears it was.
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
What? Am I not?
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a what kind of blunt?
I bet it was an iron.
Interesting. That certainly would
Oh
make.
wait, we're contradicting the iron pipe. Fuck's sake. Okay. Ugh.
Chihiro's. It appears it was.
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No.
Interesting.
I can't believe this.
That
Why are you
certainly
so
would make for a.
Poor Chihiro.
Why are you so
Chihiro's. It appears it was.
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Interesting.
Oh my God.
That certainly would.
Poor Chihiro.
Why is it so hard? Oh my God.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was.
According to the Monokuma file, what
Never
kind
let
of
me
blunt?
fire
I bet it was an iron.
Interesting.
That certainly would.
Poor Chihiro.
Chihiro's fate, it appears it was a...
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Wait.
Interesting.
Oh my god.
That certainly would make for a powerful weapon.
So if I do,
Poor
okay.
Chihiro.
I know my controls now.
Chihiro's
I
fatal
know what I'm
injury.
doing.
It appears it was...
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Interesting.
That certainly would.
Poor
Just getting used to it, 'cause I
Chihiro.
haven't done- It is really slow.
Chihiro's
Like, I was
fatal
expecting it to be
injury.
faster than
It
it
appears
actually
it was...
is.
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt...
I bet it was an iron pipe.
God.
No, that's wrong.
It's
Can
like
we
you're
agree
trying to
that
hit
the object
something,
that dealt the
but
fatal
bullet
blow
goes
was the
at
dumbbell
slow-mo?
found
Like,
at the
what hell?
scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
I don't know. I mean, there could have been other things, but I guess we're just...
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell.
Literally objection.
As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
Although the objection music in Phoenix Wright is way cooler.
You looked at her head wound?
What do you mean? Of course! We have to do a trial, idiot! We have to survive!
Yay! That's so creepy!
Kyoko.
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit.
Who invited you?
Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
Okay, so you're already trying to pin it on Toad.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Okay. Did he really kill Chihiro? A new element has been added to non-stop debates. Sure. For this debate, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets will disappear if they hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. But there's a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the X button to attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim when you have your silencer out. Okay. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. In which case you can forget about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you. Well then, good luck. Have fun! Okay. Cool.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Hey, so, speaking of Genocide Jack, I don't know who that is!
Lol. Okay, then why'd you say anything?
The culprit is Genocide Jack, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Hey, so, speaking of... I don't know who that is!
Lol.
The culprit is Genocide Jack.
And it
I'm
was
sure.
really
Case
the
closed,
truthful list.
as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Hey, so,
damn it.
speaking of... I don't know who that is!
I'm
The
doing
culprit
it.
is Genocide Jack. I'm sure.
Case closed.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
No, that's wrong!
Everything's so slow, it's really annoying.
I
This
might
is easy.
know one reason he could
Phoenix
be
Wright is
involved.
easier.
What?
Nani?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
It's really.
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth, so let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be 2 defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case.
Room. Oh, it's just this room with a bunch of books. It's my book collection. Hey, do you know where the local book collection is?
The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
Same.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
Shut up, Hina. It's boob lust. What I have for you, girl.
But more
Hey.
important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
The other characteristic of every Genocide Jack case, which the world at large doesn't know.
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way.
Please.
Other than the killer,
We all have
the
boob
only
lust.
people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
But how do we know that?
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way.
Why are you so aggressive?
So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it?
Believe me! Like, what the fuck?
There's only one logical answer I can think of.
Fuck off, Jerry.
It's because the culprit in this case
That's
is
not
the
even
real
right.
Genocide
Boobs
Jack.
don't do that. They more spread out. Unless they got bras.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Celeste is like, oh shit.
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
No? Did you hear him? You hear him? Immediately he's like, yeah, it's Toko. I know who it is. What? Toko's like, what the fuck?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
You just say that so matter of fact.
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec.
Same.
Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
I don't know.
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Nah, it's just Toko.
Another riddle.
Man,
Why has this gotta be so complicated?
Lol, Yasuhiro is everybody. It's a riddle for sure, but I think I can understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also to not be Toko. She's not just one person, but multiple people, right? Ugh. Come on! I'm not gonna blame this on Toko. What are we doing? Wait, what? What is going on? Wait, what? Oh. Wait, Shiza, you mean? You mean like schizophrenia?
Now I understand.
Why did you learn it so much? Also,
Is
it's
it
not
because
schizophrenia.
Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Okay, cool. psychology major playing this game. Schizophrenia is not the same as multiple personality disorder, which, by the way, is called dissociative identity disorder, so shut up!
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file, too. They thought that the suspect might have... what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
That is not the same as schizophrenia, you fuckers.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
Which is not schizophrenia! No, I can't believe this. Her behavior...
A gun!
But
You're
also,
talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
When she woke up, I don't know, she was just really, really excited to go on Pornhub. I don't know, man. Like, she's just started looking up at Hagao, and I don't know what's going on. It was some weird stuff. I mean, it was kind of hot, I guess. Like, in a weird way. I don't know what's going on.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers
Taking
completely
off her
disappeared.
clothes and started screaming for Bacula.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
The true solution. That's the way she'll die, by kink shaming.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
Uh-huh. I won't let Genocide... She literally said that, I guess. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in.
It was to keep Genocide
It was
Jack
to
from
keep her
coming out.
other personality from getting out.
What?
Hina, the way she says it, she's all like, what? Nani? What? What the fuck? I just want to go swim.
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
Bakugan. Isn't that like the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Fucking ripoff? Don't understand.
How? How did you know I was a yandere? Yeah. How can you know all this?
Yeah.
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story.
Okay, so she just told
She
him.
said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and
Wait,
attack
why
at
would
any
she just
time.
Tell you that?
And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a
would she
bleak
tell him
attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
I know, right? They're like too sweet, so you don't.
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
But why did you tell him?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
I mean, Toko, to be fair, why are you trusting, like, Byakuya? Like, that boy got nobody's... Like, he doesn't even give me my money. Like, you think he would keep your secret?
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't
Byakuya,
ask you
stop being a
to.
dick.
This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale.
Oh my god, Byakuya. Fuck off. Stop breaking her heart. You're breaking her heart in front of everybody.
Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone.
Okay, so is this case closed? I don't understand.
But in spite of that promise,
Well, no, because if Byakuya knew that she was Genocide Jack, then he could have just framed her. Easy. That's why he's so involved right now. Her other personality does this, so in other words, it's still Byakuya. So shut up. It's not Toko.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me.
Well, what the fuck?
That's the only reason I promised.
Toko!
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that. But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from
Byakuya,
killing.
I don't trust
Could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it,
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
Okay, cool. Well, Toko, consider this. I was romanticizing you, or romantically... Fuck, I was loving on you, and you didn't want to love me back. You went for Byakuya, so... Shit.
I
I
hate
don't know why you got
you.
this bad boy complex.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
She didn't do it.
Person? You don't mean...
Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across. So she just shafted super hard just now. I know, right?
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
Lol, Wagwan, Genocide Jill.
What the heck?
Fumi's like, I don't want to be sitting here. What the hell?
So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do?
Lol.
I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
Jack and Jill went up the hill.
What the fuck is this?
Lol. Mongo's like, what the
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality! So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
No. Lol, I love her voice. Bless. Also, why is her tongue that long? Like, damn. She'd be the ultimate lesbian, honestly.
She's so intense.
Her tongue's so long.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Lol, Sakura.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know.
The hugest boob lust.
I just have the ultimate boob lust. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. This is beyond insane. I can't handle this. I could handle like a couple 4 people dying, but I can't handle crazy.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What's up?
No, look at her. Look at her face. It's so cute. What the hell?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you.
All right.
I am the mastermind of all masterminds.
Acknowledge her pronouns.
Just kidding.
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid!
Lol.
And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Yeah, well, go on, Japan. Why are you just letting this happen?
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people.
Her tongue is wild. Like, damn.
It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone.
I love her voice.
Just kidding again!
I love her.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death.
Okay, Byakuya, but are you not looking at that tongue though? Like, that mouth be doing wild shit, you know? Like, she treat your dick good, you know?
There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
In her own ear? What the fuck?
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Okay, but this is too easy.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Have you seen her teeth? It's okay. She just has to keep her mouth real open wide.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Okay, but it doesn't seem like she's lying. Like, she seems like the type of person where if she killed somebody, she would, like, everybody know. Like, she would, like, God know, you know? She'd be like, God would be like, hey, did you kill this person? Will be like, lol, yes! Like, that's literally her personality. For sure.
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
Be nice. Makoto's stressed, are you okay? Here we go. Status of the dead body. Hold on, I'm gonna check something. What is that in death?
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need?
Oh god, I love.
Give it up. You killed her.
Easy, I don't...
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that...
Oh, an alibi!
When you compare your past, the modus operandi, what more proof? Give it up. You killed her.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone! Shoot!
Come on.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident,
So we're gonna...
the modus operandi matches completely.
No, that's wrong!
Oh yeah, that's true, it doesn't match completely, yeah.
Are the methods of
That was a
murder
really
really
big word.
exactly
I
the
didn't know we
same?
could do that.
I'm not so sure about that.
When is Kirigiri gonna speak? That's important.
I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know?
There's no scissors.
Well then, human garbage, let me tell you!
Also, why would she hold it up by a rope when she could easily just, you know, pin her to the wall or something?
I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things.
The professional, you know. Where's the money, though?
Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything.
she doesn't even use rope. That's the thing. She just uses the scissors to hold up people. So she literally pins them to the wall.
But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
Fucking ragu. Ragu's trash.
This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one. I got it!
Yeah, that's pretty
For
obvious.
one, in the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors.
And some fancy-ass scissors at that. Like, where'd she get them scissors from?
But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method?
Unless somebody was trying to pin the murder on her, which I've been saying the entire time.
And there's more. One more conflicting
But
detail.
apparently the only person who knew about the Genocide Jack files besides Makoto, and of course besides Genocide Jill, is...
That's right! In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce!
Look at her blush. Why is she is so much cuter suddenly? I don't understand.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
Byaku gross money. Lol, where'd she get that money from? She needs to give me some of that money.
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her?
Lol. I'm starting to get hungry. They keep talking about pasta, and I'm like, you know what sounds great? Pizza.
They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement!
Bitch designed those scissors. She out here did the costume design for fucking Edward Scissorhands. Damn!
Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use.
Fuck, I want ramen too. Why'd you say that, Duana? Damn. And it is not rope. I don't know why they're still saying rope. Just say it's wire.
And you know what else?
Oh my god, I love her voice. I'm gonna voice act her.
Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Well, Big Mac? Big Makoto, you mean? What'd you call him that? What'd you call him?
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Damn, fam. You ain't no Big Mac, you a small Mac. What you talking about?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
What up,
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case.
They were mad.
There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Leave her alone. Thick in the hair. Like, look at his hair. Like, his hair be wildin'.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a...
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
Yep, all these men. All these men. Not even men, they look like
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction! All adorable little men!
All adorable little men, oh my god.
I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
Oh my god,
The hell is wrong with you?
Actual bae.
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it.
Girl, you be yowling it as fuck.
But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to
I
it.
feel grumpy. Like, oh man, I was freaked out. Like I had this whole case figured out. I was gonna wrap it up and steal the rug out of Makoto's like feet, but nah.
It's a different matter entirely. When you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Yes, Jill, yeah!
Lowly? Cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make some amount of
It
sense.
makes a lot of sense, actually.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class, envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Lol. Sweet, great cake. I can't believe this. She does.
Are you sure about that? Da-da-da-da!
Wife. I'm gonna marry her.
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side?
You're gonna kill all y'all right
now. Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
Okay, so guys, I don't know. Should I focus on Tina being my #1 bae or should it be Jill? I don't know. Ooh. Oh, she just picked it out of her vagina. It's Shark Week. Don't worry about it.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
No, Byakuya knew about it
Yeah.
too.
That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
She honestly would. Low. Oh man. One person who could have copied it. I wonder who. I wonder who. I wonder who. Hey!
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it?
Oh, Kirigiri though. She needs to be part of it too. Man, we got 3 babes. I don't know who to marry. Damn.
You'd have no problem gaining access to
just marry 'em
classified
enough?
government
Is that okay?
documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened.
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
He ain't saying nothing.
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was
Kirigiri is white.
because he wanted to pin the crime on
girls are
her.
white.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it!
Porque no los dos. Tres. Cuatro.
The adorable glasses man was behind it all! Oh, I'm on fire!
Fuck, I want that on a pillow. That face right there, I want it on one of those Daki Makuras. Like, dang. I don't know why I'm so attracted to this.
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me.
Lol, Celeste, why are you doing that creepy face?
Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, The way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
Yeah, who's holed up in the library?
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say?
Right.
The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it?
You didn't know.
Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
Yeah, I will. You didn't know who it was. Yeah, let's do it. Next, we're going to add something called a truth flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down the triangle button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. You don't seem to have an answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets. It might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case. Okay. Alright. And it has? Oh yeah, 1 hour and 6 minutes. Exciting! Ah! Yeah, I at least want to get this trial done and then we can end the stream. Because I got shit to do, but
So, you said Byakuya was acting kinda weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room...
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
Okay, All Might.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions.
Yeah, but how would
What's
you
so
know?
strange about that?
Because you didn't know who
I
the body
wish you'd
was.
taken me with you.
Oh, how do I...
So, you said Byakuya, but he was acting weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity,
That's a natural reaction!
The victim was Chihiro, who was...
No, that's wrong!
Like, how did you know who it was already?
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was.
Exactly.
So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
So no, that's wrong.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
Nani?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
Show us your balls for everyone to see on stream. Come on. Is he the Nagito of this game? Right.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
Is he not?
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it.
Yeah, I will.
We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Proof that we can find who the real killer is. What could it be?
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again?
Please
When
do.
I
Oh
want
my
to
God,
kill,
please.
I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope.
It's not
Was
rope!
it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
It really was.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life. Obviously, somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
What? The difference? You want me to explain it? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to...
But, Chihiro, it was some kind of...
That's right!
Then there must be some...
Hey, Byakuya.
I'd never seen that rope before in my life. Obviously, somebody
else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
What? The difference? You want me to explain... When I want to kill, and I use those same...
But, Chihiro, it was some kind of...
That's right!
Then there must be something...
Hey, Byakuya.
Where'd you get it?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No, that's wrong!
No, why'd you say that's what happened? No, it's wrong. Like, what are you, drugged up?
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before.
Yeesh.
Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
God damn it. Now you use the proper term. God. It's not rope. It was never rope.
What? An extension cord?
Oh my god, did nobody know what it was? Believe this. We all know what
you've used the
cord
extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you?
Oh my god.
And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time
Complete garbage.
went missing after the murder.
So why does it look like that? It looks like a weird piece of paper. It doesn't look like no cord or rope or...
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
No hard feelings to anybody.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
Makoto. Big Mac, come on.
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
Yasuhiro, did you do it?
I know, but still.
Why is he so nervous?
There's something that's still bothering me.
He is in the card now that I think about it.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait, what did he say? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
I got it!
Yeah, well...
You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
Yep.
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown.
Well, why are you just going on?
She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about
There's
that.
There's plenty of questions about that, actually.
How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
Yeah, I have plenty
I believe I do.
Hey, Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? Oh shit, you got that anime irritation symbol, he mad. When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya had been so confident up to now.
Hey, don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Taka, nobody needs your permission!
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Everybody's gonna call him Lil Mac now. Just imagine hearing that in Japanese, like, big mako. Big mako. Oki mako. There's something switch. The posters.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Maku.
Your proof
Big
is some
Maku.
posters?
Maku. Hey, Big Maku.
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange?
A picture of a big boobed supermodel. That's how you know a guy's speaking. That's how you know. Oh man, that's a big boobed girl. Big boobed.
Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado.
They're all ugly as fuck, by the way.
Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
I don't know. What, guys can't like boy bands? Let guys be gay. Come on.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms.
I have the huge booblas.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Okay, but explain protein
Protein coffee?
He's like, what the fuck?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet.
It was pretty bad.
But I noticed that after
It
the
looked
murder,
like shit, but
the
I
stain had been
swear
totally
I didn't
scrubbed
take a
away.
Huge shit on the floor. I swear it was protein coffee. You gotta believe me. No, it's not the stain that was scrubbed away. That's your kind of coffee, Jess? Like shit coffee? Wait, what are we talking about?
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
Okay, but you know what? If you make a coffee stain, it's not gonna look like that. That literally looks like diarrhea on the floor. Like, coffee is not greenish. It's brown. Like, there's some green in there, like, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure Sakura's fronting a bit right now.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Is that what you call it?
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too?
So that's just like, what the fuck?
But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible.
But why would
Don't
they
you
wanna
think?
do that?
What?
Nani?
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime,
The stain from... Yeah, she's not specifying. Like, oh yeah, it was a protein coffee. It's like, what about it? You spilled it? Yeah, I spilled it.
the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
Everybody just took a huge shit on the carpet. It's fine.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
I know the answer to that, but that's spoilers. Because I was spoiled on this, lol. Which, if any of you guys, I know there's a couple of you guys who've actually played this game, so I think you know what I mean.
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the
Protein
card
coffee
reader
is so low.
device.
Anybody. They sat pretty well in the freaking mat, though.
But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
Yasuhiro, you're getting involved suddenly.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
I know how she could have done it. I'm not baked, I swear.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it!
No.
She must have hacked her e-handbook! She was the ultimate programmer, after all.
No, she didn't hack it.
I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
How do you know about it?
What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course. If she had that, she could get into
The boys' locker room, no problem.
But she didn't use Leon's handbook.
Is it really? Could Chihiro really?
She must have hacked. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have. No, I don't.
She used the thing. Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
No, that's wrong. No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Why not? Oh no! I thought I was doing something right. Oh.
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
No.
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
She said that, and there's just absolute disappointment, and then you see Kirigiri right there, you see Kyoko right there, and she's just like, I can't fucking believe this. You all suck.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one.
Okay.
In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup! Hit the nail square on the noggin!
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
She will actually crush him though, Jess. No.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Boy! Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook! The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring!
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
No, I'm the main character. I am always right.
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Stop this immediately, Taka. Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room and Byakuya's the one who did it? Really? But still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second.
Thank you, Kyoko.
I agree with you, though.
Set everybody
I
right
think you're
track.
on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say?
Mondo, what have you contributed to this entire conversation? You contributed nothing.
There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
Nani?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Lol.
Wait! Just what do you think you're doing?
Lol, Monika was like, what the fuck? This is my show!
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting?
Oh boy! A just bare dick.
Well, alright then. I declare an official class trial recess.
real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Let's go. That's true. He could just be a Ken doll down there. That's fine.
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Oh no, Jess.
Examine her carefully?
People me stay
Like
away from
using
her.
our hands?
Stay away.
No way, no way, no way, no way, no way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
Yeah, I think you get some, like, crazy cooties. I don't think those cooties will ever go away. Like, them cooties are gonna haunt you, you know.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just... based on religious grounds, you know?
Y'all a bunch of pussies.
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the
don't
boys
be like
do it.
this. Hina, no.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura.
Sakura, you're so brave. You're more lesbian than I'll ever be.
What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about?
No.
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Nah, we not screwing enough.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
I'll examine her with my tongue.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
She's going Super Saiyan.
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
She's actually Super Saiyan, you guys.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy.
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
What? You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Sakura shook. She shook.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Yeah, I knew this because, like, when this game initially came out, everybody was super, like, excited about Chihiro being, you know, as they called then, a trap.
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat.
Well, of course
Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, no, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
Lol, Jill.
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
Let's get back to it.
Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
Ha, never even crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Yeah, what was it?
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd.
Well,
I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
oh, come on. She liked being a girl. Like, use the proper pronoun.
This is the most titillating situation!
Titillating.
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Her ice cream head just got spiky.
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Oh no.
Well, without a doubt,
Lol,
Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it.
I don't even think that Byakuya would touch himself, honestly. Like, lol.
But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
To be fair, we've been accusing everybody.
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too...
Lol.
How can I put it?
Is he like black
Overt.
coloring it up? Is he really secretly Ciel?
He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
You're my teacher. Well, go on.
Mark it as correct?
Like Mr. Byakuya, Professor Byakuya.
He's
Never
right.
in my life.
I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now.
Lol.
I'm telling you the truth.
Can you curse?
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say?
Well, what? You were just trying to make it harder? I don't understand.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility.
There are security cameras, but the only person who has access to the security cameras is Monokuma. And Monokuma's just setting this up because he wants to see the trial. So, you know, there's plenty of security cameras, it's just the students don't have access to it. So we're figuring out without the footage.
Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
I just noticed she has a tie, that's cute.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Lol, Taka! Leave him alone!
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
Byakuya made it too hard for everybody. Like, I don't know why he liked this.
That's very true.
Byakuya extras, hell.
Our lives are all on the line.
It is interesting.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
I thought he was gonna say Game of Thrones. I was gonna be like, lol. The killer was able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means the killer is a guy.
I got it!
Yasuhiro is acting, yeah, he's acting really nervous. More than, like, I don't think I remember him being this involved in the last trial.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
Well,
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Honestly.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
Oh no.
Shoot!
Okay, cool. Contradiction.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing. Did nobody get...
I'm sure if someone saw the...
Perhaps someone saw the victim.
Yeah.
It's over. It's all. You want to know who saw the victim?
Is it?
The killer.
Is it?
And only